Hey guys, it's your favorite dude from the state of Oregon here. Yeah, I'm sure many of you, well, not many of you because I don't have that many subscribers, but I'm sure there's some of you that do watch my videos and, that do like my skits, that do like my content. I'm sure you're wondering where I've been. At the time of making this video, I am currently in a somewhat tough position. Yeah, it's been, it's been like 6 months? It's been a really long time, essentially, since I last uploaded a video. And I apologize for that, because a lot of things have happened in my life recently where I need to put my YouTube, career. I say that with quotation marks right now because I don't really have much of a YouTube career. Or my hobby. I'll say hobby, because that's clearly what this is. Making YouTube videos is just a hobby for me since, it's not my main source of income. I just do this for fun. I'd love to make money someday. That's what I plan on doing someday. If I ever get big. I hope I do. As I was saying, a lot of things have happened in my life recently where it's put my hobby of making YouTube videos on hold. So let's go through with them. 1. I am 21 years old at the making of this video, and I am now finally trying to get out of my parents' house, because obviously I'm old enough, I've heard, stories about people the moment they turned 18 they moved out, or people when they were 19 or 20. Even some people later. I had a coworker from work say he moved out when he was 23, and yeah, so I don't feel too bad about being this old and still living with my parents. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is that I'm at this moment in my life where, yeah, I do feel like I'm ready to move out. And it's not just my age, it's also this other factor of what's going on with my best friend and his family. You all know him. It's Winter. And for those of you who don't know who Winter is, Winter, he's my best friend, my best bud. You see him in some of my videos. He was in my first video of where I tried to be this motivational speaker, but I was like really aggressive and just over the top. And you've seen him in some of my other videos too, like the top 10 bathroom secrets. Stuff like that. He plays the supporting role. He helps me out here and there. Well, Winter's family is planning on moving to Klamath Falls in a few months. His dad was planning on taking the family and they were going to move to Klamath Falls since they have a house down there. And the house that they currently live in is already paid off, so they don't need to live there anymore, and he's going to sell the house and, move. Obviously, since Winter, since he still lives with them, he would be going with them as well. Now, three things. 1, I don't want him to move. 2, he doesn't want to move down there. He doesn't want to live there. He actually explained to me that he's actually lived there before, and he said it was a real shitty place. His words, not mine. I don't know what Klamath Falls is like, but if he says it's a shit place to live, I'll believe him. I don't have any reason to think he's lying. And the third factor is that not only is he, really good at helping me with my YouTube videos and being a supporting role and somebody to make my YouTube videos with, he also helps me out with other stuff as well. Another factor about my life that has taken a good chunk of my time that has made it so I couldn't get back to making YouTube videos is that I am also wanting to be a writer or author. My dream job, the future career that I want is to become a best-selling author. I wanna see my name on the New York Times #1 best-selling. I think that would be awesome. And I have this awesome idea for a book that I'm writing and have been working on for quite a long while, actually. I've actually been working on it for years, and the reason why it's been taking me so long is because, well, the world building is a little hard to explain, and it's sometimes hard to translate my thoughts into written words, and so because of that, it's hard for me to type it out what I'm trying to convey and what I'm trying to illustrate. And then the other factor is just that I'm a little bit of a procrastinator. I've had this problem for a long time, definitely in middle school, definitely in high school. Even though I tried, not to be a procrastinator, it's always been a problem. Obviously, I'm trying to fix this and, get off my lazy ass and finally get this rough draft done, turn it into an editor and, well, maybe not an editor after I get my rough draft done, but read through it, make sure it's congruent and that it makes sense and there's no plot holes or continuity errors, because obviously nobody wants that. Show it to my friends and family, see what they think, and try and hear out their constructive criticisms. And so to bring back to Winter, where does he fit in this? I consider him my co-creator. He helps me out. Basically I'm the main guy. I'm the one trying to tell this story. Winter is like, he's my, I wouldn't say assistant, but, he helps me out here and there and says, here's a cool idea, maybe you could put this in your story. Here's a cool idea, maybe you could do this. He's also a really good drawer and, or illustrator, if that's what you would want to call somebody. He's really good at drawing, and if I have this idea and I'm like, I think it would look like this, you could draw it out and I'm like, oh wow, that looks amazing. That looks like something, I would want to put in my book. That's awesome. Me and Winter, we're a little bit of a dynamic duo, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't made videos in a while, is that, I want my best bud to stay here, and obviously, so our idea was that him and I are going to become roommates. Find a place to live, I'll pay for my half of the rent, and he'll pay for his half of the rent, and so on and so forth, and, we'll just live together and do our best to work together. That's another factor about trying to finish my book, is because I'll come up with these ideas that I would want to implement into my story, and I second guess myself a lot. I think, back and forth, I'm like, does this sound like a good idea? Is this really something I would want in my story? And so one of the things I usually do is, I head over to his place, I'll hang out with Winter for a little bit and be like, hey man, I thought of this for my book, this type of monster that for the heroes of my story to fight against. And I'm like, oh yeah, or what about this type of combat system or this type of weapon? What do you think? Or how about this detail in world building? And so him and I talk back and forth with each other saying, oh, I think this would be great. I think it would be cool if we did this. Let's just cut this part out. That doesn't really need to be there in the book. I don't think it really adds up to anything. I don't think that detail is necessary. You can just leave that out. But definitely keep this. We'll have conversations that are pretty much like that, somewhat. Another reason why I haven't uploaded in ages is because, well, COVID-19. Yeah, I know it's a little... Pause. Okay, I'm back now. I had to pause the video. My parents were home and the dog was barking his head off, and obviously I had to go let him out. and so they could greet my parents. And if you hear any noises in the background, that's them talking. I can already hear my mom. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, I know this is becoming a bit of a cliche at this point for a lot of people to say as to why they haven't been doing much work, is because of COVID-19. And not just in the sense that COVID-19 has bothered me. I've managed fine. I haven't been sick. I haven't been exposed to it. However, even though COVID-19 hasn't impacted me personally, it has impacted where I live. You see, a lot of businesses and places here in Oregon have been shut down, mainly restaurants, which is unfortunate, as a method and way of stopping the spread of COVID-19. Yada yada yada, you've heard it all before. However, where I work, we're still open. You see, I work at a restaurant inside of a casino. And like a lot of casinos, it's owned by Native Americans and is on sovereign nation, or not on Native American land, but the people who run it are running a sovereign nation. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it basically means that the people who own that land kind of have their own small government, their own rules and regulations. They don't necessarily have to do everything that the major government surrounding it has to do. It's kind of like its own providence, basically. So anyways, like I was saying, the place that I work at is still open, but obviously a lot of changes have happened and not just wearing masks, but the way that we conduct business. You see, I worked at a buffet inside the casino, and essentially our job was a lot simpler. The people would get their own food and we would just bring them drinks or extra napkins. Nowadays, we're a bit of a sit-down restaurant now, and we essentially have to do everything for the customers. And as you would expect from the sound of all that, it basically means a lot more work, a lot more effort. And what really sucks is we're doing double the work, but the same pay essentially for the same paycheck. And as you could imagine, it's driven some of us a little crazy. Some people have simply quit and moved on. We do have new staff members, but the job's still pretty rough with what we have to do. We just get real hot and sweaty. The job has become a little more tiresome, and whereas back in the old days of working at my job, I could go home with my head high and look forward to the next day. Lately at my job, concerning what we're doing during this pandemic, man, I've just been feeling so, again, like I said, tiresome, worn out, and not as motivated as I used to be. I'm not saying I'm depressed or anything. I'm just saying I feel a bit down. It's like I'm in this recycling machine, and this week is the same as last week, and the same as the week before. Like, my job has just become so monotonous. And again, like I said, with all these new rules and new regulations because of the impact of the coronavirus, again, like I said, it's made our job a bit tougher. Not just for me as a busser, but for the servers, the hosts. It's really hectic. I'm gonna go open the window, I'm hot. Okay, that's better. It's getting really hot in here. Oh. By the way, do you like my glasses? Yeah, I wear glasses. Bet you didn't know that. Well, a lot of you subscribe to me are my coworkers and friends, but so you probably already knew that, but yeah. The dude from Oregon wears glasses. In my videos, I'm wearing contacts, hence why, I'm able to go around without, having to wear glasses, and how I'm able to see. I prefer to wear contacts because wearing glasses is a little bit bothersome for me. I get real sweaty and my glasses then fall off, and I don't know, everything just seems much easier and much clearer when I'm wearing contacts. Just a little fact, just a little tidbit of information about me. So the biggest issue I'm dealing with now is trying to find a place to live. In today's times, in order to get something really big, well, not for everything, but something usually major, like let's say a mortgage, you need to have a credit score. How do you get a credit score? Well, you get a credit card. Or at least that's one of the ways. Or I'm pretty sure that's the only way. That's what I've been told. So yeah, during my time of hiatus and not making any YouTube videos, I got a credit card in late November and have been using it and making my payments ever since then, from then on to today's date, or well, my current present date. Again, like I said earlier in the video, I'll probably upload this video into the future. I don't know if I'll upload it the next day, next week, I don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to find a place to live, and again, one of the other requirements of me getting approved for a mortgage is that I need to have worked somewhere for 2 years. This casino that I've worked at, I started in March of 2019. So it's almost my 2 years there. It's January. January's almost over, then I gotta get through February, and then after that, then it'll be March, and then I will have worked there for 2 whole years. And so what this essentially is that I gotta wait for these things to arrive. So what it essentially has done to me is that it's made me a bit anxious and, just ready for all this stuff to just get done with and, to hurry up. But then again, lately time has been flying faster for me, so maybe I'll be moved out and have my own place to live before I even know it. Who knows? Another factor as to why I've been on such a long hiatus is that there's just been a lot of random stuff that's been happening in my life. My estranged uncle died last month due to, not keeping up on his health, and, essentially his body got all messed up on the inside, and so he died because of that. Yeah, it was sad. We had our funeral not too long after. It was sad, but like I said, he was estranged. I knew him and played with him when I was a little kid, but then he then, left our lives for many, many years. Like, I think before I went to middle school, he just disappeared from my family's life. And, obviously I went through middle school, never saw him again. I went through high school, never saw him again. Went through my first year of community college, never saw him again. And, yeah. And then he recently died, and, yeah, we had his funeral. And as you could imagine, for my mother, it was really tough on her. And yeah, Another thing I should point out about with my uncle's death was we also had to move out a bunch of his stuff out of his apartment building. That took quite a while, you know, just trying to haul stuff out. And now it's like filled up in the shop up the hill from our house. And then we slowly have to go through all that stuff, you know, burn whatever unimportant or worthless papers we have, and then try to dig out and find and see the stuff that actually matters and that we actually need to keep. You know, it's a lot of work. And as some of you may already know from my recent video, I talked about having a nephew. Well, I also have two nieces, and my daily schedule is that so I have Mondays and Tuesdays off. On Mondays I gotta watch my niece and nephew, and that takes up a lot of my day, watching them. And then it's my second day off, you know, the Tuesday, where I go and hang out with Winter. And, you know, I'm usually spending the whole day hanging out with them. So, yeah, those are my 2 days off, and somewhat filled up. It's like I need a third day off to really, you know, get things kicking into gear. But I lost the privilege of having a third day off because at the place that I work at, you can only have a third day off if you're a part-timer. I decided that since I'm not going to go to school, I should obviously become a full-timer. And not only just to make more money, but get the benefits as well, and other stuff, other amazing stuff that you would get from being a full-time employee. So yeah, all in all, the reason why I've been on such a hiatus from making YouTube videos is because I just have a lot on my plate right now in my personal life, and making YouTube videos, well, yes, I love making videos. You gotta remember, this is more of a hobby. This isn't, you know, I would love to do this as a little bit of a job, but well, I'm not making any money from this so far, so I have to rely on my job at the casino to pay my rent. Yeah, you know, there's that old saying, you should find a job that makes you happy, you know, do what you want to do, it's your life. And yeah, while that's true, I do live by that message. I want to, you know, be an author, be a YouTuber, you know, I want to do all this awesome stuff, but at the same time, I love living a secure life and knowing that I won't be homeless or, you know, scraping the bottom of the barrel, you know, stuff like that. I love knowing that I will have a continued steady amount of money, even if my job doesn't really make me that happy, and, you know, I feel so worn out at the end of the day, and feeling a little, you know, discouraged from, you know, doing more. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but, you know, before you can rise, you first have to fall, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of road bumps, or roadblocks, I guess I should say, in your life, and I guess that's where I'm at right now. My biggest factor right now is that I'm just trying to find a new place to live for me and my best friend. You know, I'm thinking that once he and I are roommates, we'll, you know, be able to collaborate together much sooner. I can get the rough draft for my book done. I can make more YouTube videos with him and be more efficient with my time because, you know, since I won't be living with my parents anymore, I won't be taking care of my niece and nephew anymore because they're, you know, they'll be at their house. So that's one of the 2 days off that I have that'll be free. And then the second day off, where I usually hang out with my best friend, well, he'll always be by my side. So if I'm ever just randomly typing something and working on something, whether it's my book or a script for my next video, he'll be there and I'll be like, hey man, look at this, what do you think of this? He'll be by my side because we're roommates. I don't have to drive all the way or call him up or text him and send him pictures. I'll just simply, direct him towards my computer and be like, what do you think of this, man? So yeah, I'm sorry for the hiatus, but again, like I said, I've got a full plate. Here, I'm gonna find a picture on Google and put like a full plate, like, image right here in my hands. That's some of the little editing that I'm gonna do for this video. Yep, this is what I've got to deal with, folks. But yeah, once I get through with this, I'll definitely try to make more videos again, and hopefully get closer to achieving my goals, my dreams, my hopes for the future. I hope you all have been safe and well during this pandemic. I know that a lot of people's lives have been ruined, and yeah, that really sucks. It really sucks, man. And for those of you who have actually lost somebody or have been affected by COVID-19 real badly, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry, but well, I guess the beauty of this situation is we're all in this together, We're on the same planet. We gotta fight together, not against each other. Unity, not divide. With that said, thanks for watching. Yeah, I guess this is my way of saying I don't know when I'll upload again, but as soon as possible is what I can tell you. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.